portal. I'm sorry, I was supposed to mention that we are going to be recording this session. So please do note that when we get to the question and answer period, those items will be recorded so that we can do quality assurance and make sure that we are responding to your inquiries accurately and collecting frequently asked questions for future information that can be shared broadly. So your questions do help us refine our content, and we are recording for that purpose. This session will be played on the MyGinnieMae website. I'm sorry, the GinnieMae website, GinnieMae.gov. So if you know someone that is interested in this content and was not able to join us today, they will be able to get to this recording on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. All of our released tools and information and user materials are already available on MyGinnieMae website. I'm sorry, I keep saying MyGinnieMae. GinnieMae.gov. So if you go to GinnieMae.gov, hover over the Issuers tab, drop down to Issuer Training, you're going to see Modernization. Currently the information for all of our training events, our release schedule, as well as the user materials to assist you with using MyGinnieMae are available on the Modernization page of the GinnieMae website. So you can find everything there. All right. So the presentation for today is not yet posted on the website. We will post that later today or early tomorrow morning. However, everything else is already available, including the user manuals, which I strongly encourage you to begin using. Okay, so let's move on to our agenda and talk about what we're going to cover today. So again, my name is Letitia Jefferson. I am the Customer Experience Lead here at GinnieMae. And I am joined today by Wade Gale, Bank of New York Mellon, as well as Tawhid Ali with the Bank of New York Mellon. They're going to provide a live demonstration for you of MyGinnieMae to kind of orient you to the portal. But before we get to that, I'm going to cover some of the basics. I'm going to help, hopefully explain to you what MyGinnieMae is and what it isn't, why we're making the change, exactly what is changing, and what are the different roles in MyGinnieMae and how does that apply to you. Then Wade and Tawhid are going to take us through a live demonstration. They're going to show you how to respond to a registration invitation, which you may have already received or will be forthcoming from your administrators at your organization. Show you how to log into the portal using your new credentials and what we call one-time PIN. Also kind of orient you to my dashboard and what's available to you and show you how to access the applications that you use to do business with GinnieMae. Then we're going to come back and talk about a few tips, explain to you what self-help tools are available and how you register for this thing called Oracle Mobile Authenticator, which we'll get to later. We'll direct you to some resources and then open up for a question and answer. Okay? Next slide. So what is MyGinnieMae? If you made it to the GinnieMae Summit last year or any of the modernization calls, this is probably not new information to you. But if you are new to the party, what you need to know is that MyGinnieMae is a single gateway to access the existing systems that you use to do business with GinnieMae, as well as our modernized applications like the multifamily pool delivery module, and resources that really help boost efficiency and transparency for our business partners. The portal provides enhanced security, and that is one of the primary reasons that we are moving over to the new portal. It's a much more secure way of doing business with GinnieMae, and it's a bit easier. It's a single entry point, so you'll be able to employ what's called single sign-on, and we'll talk about that later. And it gets you a seamless access to the applications that you need to do business with GinnieMae. There's also a registration process that we're going to show you that is actually really intuitive. If you've already received your registration invitation, I'm sure you were able to fill it out very easily because it is a pretty user-friendly interface. So we're also going to talk to you about the security features that really help you know, make the portal more secure, that have caused some issues with security, federal security requirements with GinnieMae in the past, and hopefully, you know, help reassure you that while change can be somewhat uncomfortable at times, this is actually going to be a pretty easy change and for a really great reason. Next slide. So again, what is MyGinnieMae? So MyGinnieMae is this house that you're seeing, and it is housing all of the legacy and modernized applications that you will use to do business with GinnieMae. Some of these applications are applicable to you and some of them are not. So for example, if you're already a user of GMAP 1.0 and the RFS applications, you'll go through MyGinnieMae to get to those the existing legacy system. If you're a user of GinnieNet, you will go through MyGinnieMae to get to the existing system. Once you begin to do pooling through our new multifamily pool delivery module, which is already in MyGinnieMae, and we've done a significant amount of business with some early adopters of the portal through that pool delivery module, you will go through MyGinnieMae to get to that module and that modernized application. If you are an admin in our system, what we call organization administrator, you will go through MyGinnieMae to get to what's called the AMC, or Access Management Console. And as we begin to continue to modernize and introduce new applications, you will go through MyGinnieMae to get to those modernized applications. So MyGinnieMae is a house for the legacy systems that you already use and the modernized systems that have been introduced and will continue to be introduced. Now, the front door of that house is where the lock and the security features, you know, reside. So what happens is single sign-on. That means you use one username and one password combined with what's called a one-time PIN, and that will unlock the door. Once you get through the front door of MyGinnieMae, you can walk into the different rooms that you have been assigned. So if you are supposed to have access to MSPDM, GMAP 1.0, and GinnieNet, you will walk through that front door through single sign-on, and you will have access to all those applications. That means you no longer have an individual username and password for each of those rooms. You just walk through the door, the front door of MyGinnieMae with one username, one password, and a one-time PIN, and you then have access to all the rooms that you are supposed to be in, okay? Now, if you're not supposed to be in that room, for example, if you are not an administrator with your organization, those rooms will not be available to you once you walk through the front door. So you won't see the Access Management Console, known as AMC. Okay, and that is how MyGinnieMae works, and that is what MyGinnieMae is. We're not removing your access to any legacy systems. We're just sending you through a different front door to get there. Okay, next slide. So again, why are we doing this? MyGinnieMae, the portal provides some security controls that adhere to some federal security requirements, which we are required to do. So we actually didn't have a lot of choice in the switch to MyGinnieMae. We're very excited about the switch to MyGinnieMae, and we really are looking forward to improving the user experience that it provides for you, as well as the insights that we gain from the transparency and the audit controls that exist within the system. But, you know, this was something we had to do. So what do you get with MyGinnieMae? You get single sign-on, which we just talked about. That means you no longer have to have a separate username and password for each application. You just have one username and one password, and through that, you single sign-on into the portal. There's also multi-factor authentication. So I mentioned OTP, or one-time PIN. What happens is after you've entered your username and your password, you will be prompted for a PIN. That OTP can be sent to your email address or to via Oracle Mobile Authenticator to your smart device. You get to choose every time you log into the portal where you want that OTP to be sent. But it will generate a code And you will take that code and plug it into the box when you are prompted for an OTP, and then you will be able to access the applications inside of the portal. It's called multi-factor authentication. And what you see when you're in the portal, like we talked about those different rooms, is based on your functional role. This is a different way of providing system access than we've done in the past. You know, traditionally we've said, what systems do you need? And then we give you separate access to each of those systems. In today's world, what we're doing in MyGinnieMae is we're primarily interested in what your business function is. And based on that business function, you will be provided access to all the systems that you need. And as we continue to modernize and introduce new applications, we are able to automatically add those applications to your role as applicable. So we don't have to continue to get you new usernames and passwords and access to new systems and applications as we bring them online. If we know the role that you play in your organization, we can automatically provide you that access. So it's not really about the system, it's about the business functions that you conduct on behalf of your organization. If you happen to be someone that conducts multiple business functions, you can have multiple functional roles. That's perfectly acceptable. And then there's this invitation model that we've included in the new platform, and it allows us an audit trail in terms of who the users are and how they gain access to our system. So we have organization administrators, which were formerly known as security officers and enrollment administrators in your organizations, that are now called organization administrators in MyGinnieMae. And they are responsible for your account access and managing your account. We'll talk a little bit later about everything that they can do for you, and we'll also talk about the different functions that you can conduct on your own thanks to the new portal. Next slide. Okay, so here's how things are changing. So in our legacy environment, which is GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet, GinnieMae admins through the Bank of New York Mellon provided access to our users. In MyGinnieMae, our modernized environment, it's actually the organization administrators at your organization that provide each user access to the system. The issuers in our legacy systems were provided access to their subservicers, but in MyGinnieMae, subservicers have their own admins and org admins, and they manage their employee access. So issuers no longer need to provide access to their subservicers in GinnieMae systems. In our legacy environment, you could go directly to those legacy systems to log in. In MyGinnieMae, you actually go through the front door of MyGinnieMae to access the different rooms which house those legacy systems in order to access GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet. So again, those systems don't go away, you just access them a little bit differently. In our legacy environment, you needed a separate username and password for each application, and that got you into the system. But in MyGinnieMae, you do have the additional requirement of a one-time PIN. But again, one username, one password, one-time PIN, and then you're into all of the systems that you need access to. That access in our legacy systems was identified by the applications you wanted access to, whereas in MyGinnieMae, we're really functioning around, or we're really operating around this idea of a functional role. So it's more about the business that you need to conduct on behalf of your organization, as opposed to exactly which systems you want access to. So you don't have to worry about the system, you just need to know your business function. Again, you know, in legacy systems, a separate username and password for each system. In MyGinnieMae, it's just one username and password. In our legacy systems, in order to update your password, or if you forgot your password or got locked out, you would go to the GinnieMae admins at the Bank of New York Mellon to assist you. In MyGinnieMae, you can actually reset your password if you've forgotten it, and manage your password functions on your own. And if your account happens to get locked, it's your organization administrator that can assist you. Those are no longer functions that you would contact the GinnieMae admins through the GinnieMae Help Desk at the Bank of New York Mellon for. Okay. Next slide. So let's talk a little bit more about these roles and responsibilities. So let's start with our operations administrator. The operations administrator resides at the Bank of New York Mellon. They are privileged users that are responsible for providing access to portal admins, and they are providing general oversight of the portal on behalf of GinnieMae. Okay. And the organization administrator, that is a privileged user at your organization, formerly known as your security officer or enrollment administrator, that now is responsible for providing you access to our system. There is a workflow that is required to give any one end user access. So you actually need 2 org admins to provide an end user access to our system. We are in the process, we've already begun the process of enrolling your organization administrators so that they can begin to provide our end users access to the system. But that system access is no longer something that the operations administrator at the Bank of New York Mellon handles. It's a function that the organization administrator at your organization handles and is responsible for. And then there's the end user, and that's who we're talking to today. You are the users of the system that are responsible for doing business with GinnieMae. You're responsible for pools, you're responsible for reporting, you might be an authorized signer. You are what we call an end user. Now, some of our end users are also organization administrators, but the way in which you're provided access to those business applications is a little bit different. And that's what we're here to talk about. And how you access those applications is a little bit different. So we're going to talk to you more about that and give you a demonstration coming up soon. Next slide. Okay, so a little bit more about these functional roles. Again, this means that the access that you need as an end user is tied to your business functions. You no longer need to be concerned with exactly what systems and what applications you need access to. When you are speaking with your organization administrators about your access to GinnieMae systems, the conversation will squarely reside around your role in your organization. Please note that the organization administrators have been instructed that as responsible entities for access to GinnieMae systems, they must abide by the least privilege requirement. That means that no user should have more access than is required by their business function. So your organization administrators will not be allowed to provide you every functional role that is available to your organization. In general, that just would not be applicable to most users. So please understand that when you are having these conversations and requesting system access from your organization administrators, that they are stewards of the GinnieMae systems and they're responsible for keeping the information at your organization secure, which does require them to limit the access that they provide to the functions that you are responsible for. Okay? This is just an example of a few functional roles that exist. There's a full functional role matrix in the Getting Started user manual, which is posted on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. If you're curious to know what functional roles are available for your type of organization, you can find those roles listed in the appendix of that user guide, user manual. Okay, next slide. So real quick, I'm just going to do a quick overview of this this onboarding workflow and how you get your access and roles. This will help you understand why there is more than one organization administrator required. It'll also help you understand why you won't get immediate access to the system. Okay, when you do request access to the system, there are several requests and approvals that are involved and a finalization step, and that is not an instant process. It does take time. So please understand that it is very, very important for you as an end user to make sure that once you have an account, your account stays active. If in the event that you should need urgent access to the portal, if your account is not in an active status, It is not a simple click of a button to reinstate your access. There is a system, a workflow involved that requires multiple participants, and immediate access will not be possible. So it is extremely important as an end user of the MyGinnieMae portal that you maintain an active account, which means you must log into the portal every 90 days. If you do not do so and your organization finds itself in an urgent situation, you may not be equipped to respond, okay? So here's how it goes. Starting on the left-hand side, an organization administrator will send an invitation to you, the end user, via email. When you receive that invitation, you are going to complete a registration form that is very much self-explanatory. If you have an RSA token, a hard token that was issued by the Bank of New York Mellon on behalf of GinnieMae, you will want to make sure that that token number has been included in your registration form and that it has been listed properly. If this does not occur, you may run into some problems when it's time for you to use that token through MyGinnieMae. So again, as you're completing that registration form, fill out all of the mandatory fields, and if you are an RSA token holder, please ensure that you have indicated that in your registration form and included the token serial number. Okay? Then you're going to submit that form. And a second organization administrator, not the one who requested sent the registration invitation, but a second organization administrator is going to approve that request, assuming that all the information in it is correct. Once that administrator approves the request, they're going to make a request for you to get access to GinnieMae business applications, what we call functional roles. So that administrator is going to request a functional role based on your business functions, and then another organization administrator is going to approve that request so that it can go to the operations administrator at the Bank of New York Mellon, who will provide final approval. At that point in time, the end user will receive a welcome email and a notification that their functional roles have been assigned. Okay, so again, I wanted to highlight here that there are multiple request and approval steps before you get full access to the system. And if for any reason you do allow your account to go inactive, those functional roles that were assigned to you will be removed and your account will be disabled. What will have to happen to have your account re-enabled is the requesting organization administrator for your access request. They will have to enable your account, request functional roles again. A second administrator will have to come in and approve those functional roles so that the operations administrator can give final approval in order for you to have system access again. So as you can see, there's several people and several steps involved if you do not keep your account status active. Okay. The good news is, starting at day 81, you will be given email notifications that it is time to reset your password. If you use that as an opportunity to log into the system, you won't ever have to worry about your account going inactive. So please do make sure that you're paying attention to notifications that you get from the system to reset your password every 90 days, and you will not have a problem maintaining an active status in our system. All right, so I think it's a good time to provide you a demonstration of our new portal. And like I mentioned before, Wade Gale and Tawheed Ali are here to do that for you.
All right, thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tawheed Ali from BNY Mellon. Today I'll be assisting with the demonstration. And as we start, I'll give an overview on how to register once an invitation has been sent to you via email. And we'll also go over how to log into the system and navigate. So first, here you'll see on the screen, this is the email with the subject line, "Welcome to MyGinnieMae registration." Will be sent to you with a invitation link that you see here. And do please note this link is valid for 24 hours, so you must register within that time period. So also on this email below the registration link, you will see the instruction on what to complete and the fields that you must complete. Now, once you click on the link, you'll navigate to your browser, and the new user registration form will open. Here you will see your first name, middle name, and your last name, along with your email grayed out. This is so that you will not be able to make any changes. So it's very important that you do check the spelling of your name, and if correct, you continue on to the other fields. And if not, do not finish the registration, and talk to your administrator to make the necessary updates and resend you the invitation link. So once you verify that all your information is correct, you will then continue on to your title, your work phone number. So here we will enter our office number. Continuing on, you have the mobile phone number field. This is optional. Below that, you have your password field. This is the password you will enter when entering into MyGinnieMae. And you will confirm that password again. And once you confirm, you will then continue on to your token. So here, if you have a RSA token, you will enter the serial number by clicking on yes and entering that information. And if you don't, then you select no and continue. You will then select and agree with the terms and condition by clicking on the box, scrolling down, and agreeing, and click on yes. Once you do that, you will then check the box for the privacy policy. And when you agree, you click yes. And this basically completes the registration. So once you're happy with the information you have entered, you then click on finish. And once you click finish, registration waiting for approval message will appear, and you can now go ahead and close the screen. So the user registration is complete, and once the request is approved and access is granted to you, you will receive a welcome email, which with the subject, "Welcome to MyGinnieMae portal," instructing you on how to log into the portal. So let's go ahead and open up a browser and navigate to myginniemay.gov, which you see on the screen here, and by clicking on Login on the top right corner. Here you will see the field for your username and password. Your username is the email that was used to register. And the password that you have just used, you saw when you completed your registration. Then click Login. And here you will be prompted to enter your one-time PIN or OTP. You will see on the screen you have two options here. One is your one-time PIN through your email, which will send a 8-digit one-time PIN, or you will now have the option to receive enter your one-time PIN through the Oracle Mobile Authenticator. This is an app that you will download and install on your smart device and register that account, which you will then receive your one-time PIN through the app. So for demonstration purposes, we will click on the one-time PIN from Mobile Authenticator and click OK. Now, here you will see the Oracle Mobile Authenticator instructions. So if you do not have one installed, you can navigate through and receive your one-time PIN. So let's enter our PIN and click Login. If the PIN is entered in correctly, you will get an invalid message, so you will then re-enter.
Actually, it wasn't entered incorrectly. It was just timed out, so that's something we have to watch too. So I just messed up on this one, but it's good to show that. So I'm just waiting until it resets again.
Yes, that's correct. Wait, there is a 30-second timeout limit. So if the timer is up, you will have to enter the new one-time PIN that is generated and click Login.
Yes, I did it.
Okay, so once you enter it correctly, you will land on my dashboard page. Here, this is the application that we have where you will conduct your business. So to begin with, if you look on the top right, you will see hello and your name. Please note the first time you do access the application, you will have to set your issuer ID. So we do this by clicking on the name. And you will see a issuer ID with the drop-down. So you'll click on that and select the issuer ID. In our case, we already have it selected, but if it's your first time, you will have to click on and select the issuer ID. Now, moving down, this is the dashboard where we have all our essential information. You will see my pool and the Skittles, which is called. These are statuses of pool, which shows us that they're in, starting with all multifamily pools with the number 149. So this is the total number of pool that we have in our system. We have the draft Skittle. Next to that, we have submitted for final certification. Then we have final certified and issued. Now you will also see a Skittle for TAI pool or transfer at issuance, also known as PIT pit pools. Scrolling down, you have your inbox with the message and notifications based on the actions you do on your pools, along with portal notifications will be seen here. Next to that, we have the note widget, which you can write notes for yourself, set a reminder. And going down, we have our IOPP scorecard, along with the commitment authority and the pool number. So now we will quickly navigate to the Pools and Loans tab. This is where you will create and manage your pools.
Oh, you want me to click on this?
Yes, please click on Pools and Loans so we can.
I need to follow instructions. So sure I can.
Okay, so once you land on Pools and Loan tab, you'll again see the schedules on the top of the page. This is just the summary that we just went over on the pools and their statuses. Below, you will see a list of pools that's in the system in different statuses, and you will have the option to filter by the pool statuses. Starting with ready for submission, passed, favorite, rejected, and certified. And next to that, you will see the field where you can enter the pool ID to search your pool. And next to that, you have your advanced search option. Here you can search based on issue date, pool ID, and other fields. So here we'll talk about how we can access our business applications. And we do this by going under Tools. So if Wade, you can click on Tools drop-down menu, and you will see a list of links. These are applications based on your access or your credentials, and through that we can see we have access to GinnieMae or GMAP1. So let's quickly see how we navigate to the business application in GMAP1. So if Wade, you can click on RPN, you would automatically be single signed on to GMAP1 for RPN. Now, one good thing here is that when you selected your issuer ID from the drop-down initially, the system automatically selected your legacy ID, and you were signed on to the business application. You don't have to enter the legacy ID anymore. So if Wade, we can go back to MyGinnieMae. We can also see how we navigate to GinnieMae. So we will click on the GinnieMae link, and it'll single sign on to GinnieMae. Okay. So that's a quick little demonstration on how we navigate in MyGinnieMae. I'll hand it over back to you, Tisha.
Thank you, Tauheed. Thank you, Wade.
You're welcome.
So there are a few more things that we want to talk to you about as it relates to the portal. A few tips that are going to help you in the long run. The first tip is the bookmarking. We know that many in today's age use bookmarks on their toolbar to try to get to pages very quickly, and that is a smart thing to do. However, with MyGinnieMae, you do need to be careful about which page you are bookmarking. A lot of people want to bookmark the page where you actually enter your username and password. We call that the login page. We have discovered that there can be problems in terms of cookies and cache as it relates to bookmarking that page. So we do advise that you bookmark the public landing page at my.ginniemae.gov. Doing so will provide you on the screen with the banner where you select login on the top right-hand side of the screen to get to the login page where you put in your username and password. It might feel like an unnecessary step, but I promise you, it could save you some heartache in the long run, as we have found problems and errors to display when folks are trying to or bookmarking that page. So just a word to the wise. Another tip is that MyGinnieMae may be accessed using Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox. However, Chrome is the preferred browser for accessing MyGinnieMae. You will have better functionality and increased processing times generally if you're using Google Chrome. But you do need to know, as long as we continue to function in legacy environments of GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet, there are some legacy functions that require the use of Internet Explorer. So if you are working in Google Chrome and you find that certain things do not pop up for you, such as the curtailment button, it could be a function of those legacy systems not playing nice in the sandbox with Google Chrome. Therefore, you might want to switch over to Internet Explorer. It just kind of depends on what you need to access and what work you're doing when you're in the portal. But if you're going to be someone that's accessing a modernized application like MFPDM, you're going to find that the portal will generally work better for you if you are working in Chrome, okay? Now, the caveat here is that the browser's pop-up blocker must be disabled prior to accessing MyGinnieMae. If you do not disable your pop-up blockers, there will be pain and suffering, I promise. The portal does absolutely require that your pop-up blocker on your web browser be disabled. Doing these three things will actually assist you in avoiding many, if not most, problems and errors in our system. Okay? Next slide. Here's a couple other things to note. We talked very much about those different roles that now exist in MyGinnieMae and what an operations administrator can do versus what an organization administrator can do. But let's talk a little bit more about what you can do on your own as an end user. If you have forgotten your password, you need to reset your password because maybe you think your password may have been compromised. If you need to register or deregister from the Oracle Mobile Authenticator and having the OTP delivered to a smart device, and if you need to update account attributes like your phone number, or a job title, you are able to do those things on your own without the assistance of a system administrator. When you go to log in, there is a forgot password link under the login screen under the username and password where you can, follow some self-help steps to reset your own password. All of those things are things that you'll be able to manage on your own without the assistance of an administrator. However, if you do find that you need to have your account reset, enabled, if your account is disabled and you need your account enabled, re-enabled, those are things that you're going to contact your organization administrator for. So those folks that were formerly security officers and enrollment administrators at your organization are now the ones responsible for those functions on your behalf. Please note, there's no point in attempting to bypass them to go to the operations administrator at the Bank of New York Mellon. As much as everyone in the world loves Wade Gale, and he is the most helpful person that anyone knows, he will not be able to assist you with these functions. He has been strictly forbidden by GinnieMae from manipulating user account access on behalf of any organization. So he is not able to assist you, and his team cannot assist you as well. So it is very important that if you are unable to complete the action using self-service, that you know who your organization administrators are and reach out to them for assistance, because that is the role that they will play point forward. Okay, next slide. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about one-time PIN, because this is a new thing, right? You guys have already managed, logging in with a username and a password, and now you got this PIN thing. Well, Tauhid and Wade already showed you in their demonstration a little bit about one-time PIN. If you want to have one-time PIN delivered to your email, the corporate email address that you have on file and that you are using as your username for your account, oh, I might not have mentioned that. Your username is actually your email address. So hopefully we've made that easy for you to remember. So when you go to log into the portal, as you will have seen in the demonstration that you were provided, it is your username is your email address. So when you go to generate a one-time PIN to access the portal. You can have that one-time PIN either sent to your email address where you can retrieve it there, or you can have it generated through an app on a smart device called the Oracle Mobile Authenticator. You have to enter this OTP every time you log into the portal, okay? So I highly recommend that you register with the Oracle Mobile Authenticator, and here is why. Some of your organizations have firewalls that delay or prevent our automated emails from getting through, okay? I haven't seen a case in which no email ever gets through, but I have seen cases where, on occasion, folks are not receiving their one-time PIN to their email address. It can happen. We have done extensive work to try and troubleshoot this issue and have found that the issue is not related to MyGinnieMae. The PINs are being generated and being sent. They're just not being received due to some firewall restrictions that might exist within your own organization. So, having said that, if you register with the Oracle Mobile Authenticator on your smart device, that could be a phone, that could be an iPad or tablet, that PIN will be generated through the app, and you do not have to worry about any delays in receiving an OTP to log into the portal. Now, every time you log into the portal, you will have a choice, whether you want that OTP sent to an email address or you want that OTP generated on your smart device. So it's not an all or nothing. You'll have a choice, but I do highly recommend installing that Oracle Mobile Authenticator. It does not matter if it is a work-issued device or if it is a personal device. It is an application that simply generates a number that is attached to your account in MyGinnieMae to provide you an additional factor for authenticating to get into the portal. Okay. Now, for instructions on how to register with the Oracle Mobile Authenticator, you can find a quick reference card on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website that will walk you through the steps of how to register with the Oracle Mobile Authenticator. Okay. Next slide. A couple other questions that have come to us with some frequency. Questions about, logging into GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet directly without going through the new portal. We do not recommend this. Once you have an account created in MyGinnieMae, it is highly advisable that you go through MyGinnieMae to access GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet. We will not be immediately disabling that access. So it is important that you use some discipline here to use your email address and your new password and an OTP to log in through MyGinnieMae to access those legacy applications. Okay. Now, in terms of how long you'll be able to continue to go to GMAP 1.0 and GinnieNet directly, there is a finite cutoff date. Direct access to legacy systems will be terminated 90 days after each onboarding wave. If you want to know exactly what that date is, you can go to the release and training schedule, and there you can actually find what we call the completion target date for each wave. The current wave that we are in is wave 1. It's our multifamily issuers. The completion target date is May 11th. As of May 11th, the users in the multifamily issuers will not be able to go directly to legacy systems any longer, logging in with their old credentials. They will have to go to MyGinnieMae to log in with their MyGinnieMae credentials to access those legacy systems. Okay, so that's the timeline for, you know, getting users in the portal and using MyGinnieMae exclusively. However, in the meantime, as those legacy systems do remain available, we still highly recommend that you do not use your direct access and your old credentials to log into those systems directly, as it has created some problems and errors for some of our users in our pilot. Okay, next slide. Okay, so there's plenty of information and help and resources out there. Again, if you go to the page, the modernization page on the GinnieMae website, there are user guides, quick reference cards, the training presentations are posted there, the release and training schedule I just told you about. There will be more training events. If you have end users that have not had an opportunity to attend this training, they can come to future training events. Also, the training materials and the recording from these trainings will be posted on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. So if you want to refer back to something you heard today, you will be able to do that. Those, we do need approximately 24 hours to be able to post those details, but we will get those posted for you. If you have technical questions about how to access the portal, you know, or its applications, how to use MFPDM, please contact the GinnieMae customer support team at 833-GNMA-HELP. That's 1-833-466-2435. Or email them at GinnieMae1@bnymellon.com. If you have general questions about GinnieMae, MyGinnieMae onboarding, the training materials, the user materials, how to access additional training, the release calendar, just general inquiries about the release effort, please reach out to the GinnieMae Customer Experience Group at cxg@hud.gov. So we're going to go ahead and open the survey so that before you leave, if you can, please make sure that you answer some questions for us about your experience today. But for those that want to hang around and ask a couple questions, we're going to open the lines so that you can ask some questions. So if you would like to ask a question of us, please go to the bottom of your screen and hit the button that says raise your hand, so that we can unmute your line so that you can ask a question. That's for the folks that have joined us through their computer audio. If you're someone who dialed in using the phone, I believe it's *9 to unmute your line. Do we have any questions?
None yet. People can also use the Q&A feature on the Zoom as well, if you don't want to go ahead and talk. But,
if you don't want to bless us with your beautiful voice, there is a Q&A button on the bottom of the screen. You can actually select that and type in your question if you would prefer to type your question.
Yep. No hand raises yet, no questions.
Okay. Well, we will continue to hang on the line for another few minutes. If you do want to ask a question about anything we covered today, please don't hesitate to do so. Is that a question?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, so we have a question about e-notifications. E-notifications are not impacted by MyGinnieMae. E-notifications are sent through GMAP 1.0. So you will continue to get e-notifications. We don't have a plan for an immediate plan, I shouldn't say a plan at all, but an immediate plan for migrating e-notifications. So you will continue to check e-note for any e-notifications, system-generated notifications in GMAP 1.0. And in terms of where you will begin to locate things that you are currently accessing to do business with GinnieMae, nothing moves. Everything remains exactly where it is. You just go into MyGinnieMae to access the systems and applications that you're already accessing. Nothing moves. Every user of the portal is required to log in every 90 days. This is a federal security requirement, probably one that you experience in your everyday lives and your work life already. You must update your password every 90 days. So in order to keep an active account, you will need to change your password and log into the portal every 90 days. That includes all users of the portal, whether you are an end user or an administrator in the portal. Even I have to update my password every 90 days. In terms of accessing an RSA token, the process has not changed. If you are not already a token holder, you can reach out to GinnieMae customer support at 833-GNMA-HELP or GinnieMae1 at BNY Mellon. There is a form for you to fill out in order to access an RSA token. If you are already a token holder, you will use your existing token through MyGinnieMae. So when you complete new user registration and it asks for your RSA token information, you will enter the serial number from your existing token at that time. If you are not a token holder, meaning you are not listed on the HUD 11702 with your organization, there's no need to become a token holder in order to do business in the portal. Nothing about that functionality changes. You do not now require an RSA token in order to do business in the portal. That is only for signatories, authorized signers.
All right, no more questions are in the chat section. We had one person raise their hand on the phone. Area code 813, and the last 4 digits are 9410. I'm going to unmute you now so you can start talking.
Hi, this is Joanne with First Housing.
Hi, Joanne.
We have a new org administrator we just added to our 11702 and went through the process of registering her, but she was not previously a GMAP or GinnieNet user. I sent the request form in to have her become a token holder, and I got a note back indicating that they needed her GMAP ID number, which she doesn't have currently.
She does. Actually, Joanne, when a new MyGinnieMae account was established for her, she would have received a new GMAP ID. So go ahead and reach out to the customer support hotline. Go reach out to Wade's team, and they can help you find her GMAP ID. It's actually going to be listed in her profile. So if you go into the portal and go to the icon where her initials or her picture is, we call it an avatar, you can actually get to her GMAP ID there. But the team can help you locate that. But she does. When you get an account in MyGinnieMae, you are automatically provisioned a new GMAP and GinnieNet ID. You just don't know about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because when we were talking about the single entry point, I thought, okay, well, so I need to go in there and register and give her an issuer ID just for her not to use it? That didn't? Okay, but now I know where to look for it. Okay.
The system automatically does that for you when you sign up a new user. So she's got one.
Gotcha.
It's just hidden in there somewhere, and the team will be happy to help you figure that out so you can get her connected to a token.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ian, are there other questions on the line?
No other questions at this time.
Okay. I don't see any coming in through the chat either. Again, if you dialed in through the phone line, if you hit, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, it's *9?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, if you're dialed in through the phone as opposed to the audio on your computer, *9 will indicate for us that you have a question. Please do make sure that you fill out that survey on your way out, the information that you provide to us, as well as the questions that you ask us on these calls really do help us refine our delivery and make sure that we're giving everyone the best information possible. So we do appreciate your participation. I don't see any more questions coming in. Any more on the phone line, Ian?
Yeah, we got one person, area code 727, last 4 digits, 0574. You're open now.
Yes, you mentioned something earlier about the 11702 and a token. And I was wanting to clarify, I know you have to be on the 11702 to receive a token, but if you're on the 11702, do you have to have a token?
No, you do not.
No. Okay.
No, you do not have to have a token just because you are listed on the 11702. If you act as a signer on behalf of your organization, you do maybe certifications. You do need a RSA token in order to be able to do that. But just because you are on the 11702 does not mandate that you get an RSA token.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, *9 if you're on the phone line and have a question to ask, or you can drop to the bottom of your screen and you can raise your hand there to ask a question if you're connected through the computer, or you can type in a question using the Q&A. Now, as I mentioned before, we will post this presentation on the modernization page of the GinnieMae website. You can access that by going to ginniemae.gov. Hover over the Issuers tab, drop down to Training Presentations, and under that you'll see Modernization. And that is where all of this information is housed. I'm sorry, I say Training Presentations. I meant Issuer Training. If you hover over Issuers tab and drop down to Issuer Training, right under the Training Presentations is a link to the Modernization page. And there you can find information for all of the calls that we'll be having, several training events. So if there are colleagues that would like to attend a live training, please do encourage them to register for one of those training events once we post those. But the user manuals, quick reference cards, recordings from these calls are all posted on the modernization page. I strongly encourage you to use that resource. Okay, Ian, any more questions on the line?
Yeah, we got one, area code 813, last 4 digits 9410. Go ahead.
Hi, sorry, it's Joanne at First Housing again. You just reminded me of one more question we had.
Go for it.
We talked about the 90-day login to keep current. We were wondering, yes, if you are a token holder, do you need to perform some function with your token also in order to keep it active? Is it separate? Okay.
No, nothing to be done.
As long as your user ID is active, then your token is active.
Yeah, if for some reason your token were going to expire, the folks at the Bank of New York Mellon would reach out to you. So there's nothing to worry about. We don't have tokens expire. We know exactly. Yeah, we've got all of that covered. So as long as you are logging into your account every 90 days, everything that you need in order to stay active in the portal, including use of your RSA token, will be taken care of.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, Ian, any other questions on the line?
Nope, not at this time.
Okay. Well, as I mentioned, right here on your screen, you can see that if you have any general questions like the ones that you've asked today, you can reach out to cxg@hud.gov, and I'm happy to respond to those inquiries. If you do need some specific technical assistance, such as locating that GMAP user ID to connect it to an RSA token, the folks at the GinnieMae customer support team can assist you with that. So reach out to them at 1-833-GNMA-HELP. And yes, we do know that there's an extra letter there. But if you dial 833-466-2435, I promise it goes through, no problem. GinnieMae1@bnymellon.com if you want to email in that question. Okay? So thank you for participating today. We hope you guys enjoy your portal experience. And if you have any feedback for me, go ahead and send that to cxg@hud.gov. Thank you.
Thanks.